Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to talk about a developer and how they're saying that it's going to be a challenge to bring their game over to the Xbox Series S. We also have another developer talking about their issues bringing their game over to the Xbox consoles. Now first, let's talk about Dune. Now Dune Awakening, apparently the developers say it will be a challenge to bring over to the Series S. And because of this, they're bringing it out on the PC first. Now they go on to say it's one of the reasons we're coming out on PC first. There's a lot of optimizations we need to do before we will release on Xbox. But yeah, Series S is a challenge. And I wrote over on my X account that the Xbox Series S once again is blocking the Series X with Dune Awakening. I told you that the Xbox Series S is a potato. Now a lot of people get triggered by that. But that system, it's just not a powerful system. There's a lot of compromises that are made to get games running on that system. And I gotta be honest with you, there's a lot of games on that system that don't look good at all. They're running at a very low resolution at 30 FPS or even sometimes at 60 FPS, but a really low resolution with a lot of settings, a lot of the game stripped out. So the Series S, you shouldn't be expecting top tier performance on that console. And that's why I think that it's really holding back the generation. We're seeing a lot of developers say that they're having a hard time bringing their games over to the Series X console because it has to be verified or certified for the Series S at the same time. Now we've seen this with BG3, Baldur's Gate. They had to cut out, I believe it was co-op that they cut out. Microsoft actually allowed them to cut out something that wasn't going to be in the S version and X version. I think it was the split screen co-op. So they took it out and they actually got it certified for the Series S, but it still came much after it launched and the damage was already done and that game was a hit. Now we're seeing the same thing with Wukong. That game, the developers have come out and said that they're having a hard time with the certification process over at Microsoft. There is a problem with the Series S. And my problem that I have with some Xbox fans, they don't want to admit when Microsoft is doing some shady stuff or they're just not up to snuff with some of the things or some of the games that they're releasing. They always sugarcoat it and Microsoft can never do no wrong. And I'm kind of tired of people like that. And anytime I come out and say something, I get attacked on it. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. But I said this with Black Myth Wukong, that it wasn't money handed by Sony. The reason why is because of the Series S. Now, if you see the performance on the PlayStation 5, it struggles. There are moments that game struggles, much less the Series S. So it's not hard to believe. Now we have another developer saying that they're going to delay this game on consoles. They're going to release it on PC first because they got to do a lot of optimizations to get it running on Xbox. And yeah, it's because the Series S is a challenge. And yes, we know the Series S and X versions have to be certified at the same time. So this is why I say the Series S was a mistake. Xbox owners right now are not enjoying Wukong. It can run on the Series X because it's running on the PlayStation 5. You can figure out the Series S version later. Or how about this? I'll throw you guys a bone. How about you allow the game, if it's not going to be released natively on time, you allow it to be streamed on the Xbox Series S if they purchase the game or if it's in Game Pass, whatever. That could be a way around this as well. Using the power of the cloud, of course, you're going to have more performance in the Series S in the cloud and allow the Series S owner to enjoy the game. That could be one way around that. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too far out the box. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. But the Series X is suffering in this instance because of the Series S. So it is a problem. We can't just gloss over it. You have to address it. And I said this in my last video. If you care about something, you care about somebody, and you want them to be better, when you know they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing that are a detriment to them, you got to speak out so they can change course. Now, if Microsoft's fans are just accepting all of this, why would they change anything? Now, the developer of Anotria, The Last Song, they said the massless ones, we have an important update regarding the Xbox and the physical versions of the game. You can read the message on our official website. And they went on to say that they're having a hard time getting it certified on the Xbox. They said it's running fine on the Series S and X, but unfortunately, Microsoft hasn't reached out to them in over 2 months to reply to their submission. Now, people were calling all kinds of things to these developers saying that they're paid by Sony And they actually responded to that. And they said the only thing that Sony did was work with us on getting the game ready on their platform. Microsoft, on the other hand, is taking 2 months to reply to our submission when we have the game practically ready for both the Series S and X. Can we agree that there is a problem over there at Xbox? This should not be happening. Wukong has missed. Baldur's Gate missed last year. And it was in the holiday season, peak time. Now in the thread, Boom was in there and he says, it's sad news indeed that the Xbox community appreciates this update. Though as you might expect, I will be skipping this because it's not being on my preferred platform. And I replied that, hey, buddy, I don't got no issue with you, but the issue is with Xbox and their verification process. And it's time to acknowledge that the Series S and Xbox verification process is an issue. How many devs need to say this? They said they've been waiting for a response for 2 months. It's an Xbox problem. And not specifically Boom, but a lot of Xbox supporters, like I said, they just don't call a spade a spade. And it just doesn't make sense. And to be honest with you guys, it just drives me crazy. Like, this is not a good look. There's no way to say it otherwise. Games are missing the Xbox Series X because of the Series S and Microsoft's verification process. These games are going over to the competition. So if you're a console fanboy, let's say, this should bother you because this is another reason why PlayStation is outselling Xbox, because they got more games over there. They're getting the third-party games. They're not getting delayed because of the Series S. They're showing up on the PlayStation 5. They have exclusives over there that are not on the Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series X is going to bring some of their exclusives over to the PlayStation 5. This is just not a good look for Xbox overall. And then you have people just coming out, like I said, spitting a lot of vitriol. Somebody saying, I've been copying and pasting the same stuff for a decade. You said that the Plague Tale wouldn't run at 60 FPS. And then when it ran at 60 FPS, you didn't say anything. When that game is not a 60 FPS game. Yes, the camera and the main character animation is at 60 FPS, but everything you interact with is at 30 FPS. Okay? The rats are at 30 FPS. The NPCs are at 30 FPS. Stuff that's running in the background is at 30 FPS. So this is not a true 60 FPS game because everything would run in 60 FPS. Half-frame animation is not a good thing in a 60 FPS game when you have the half-rate animation running at 30 FPS. It's extremely jarring. And when you point out the obvious to these people, they just keep going on and on and on. And even when you produce the evidence, they extend the goalpost and they use straw man arguments. Like, this is what Digital Foundry said. You don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what they said.
Here's the most obvious example. Playing Series X in its performance mode, sure enough, we get 60 FPS camera movement. Lovely. We get 60 FPS animations on the torch as Amicia waves it, carving a path through the shadows. But notice how the rats at our feet scurry around at half that rate. It creates an otherworldly effect, a disconnect between the player motion, the camera running at 60 FPS, and then the swarm of rats updating at 30. Honestly, for any scenes where rats dominate the screen space to such an extent, it does beg the question, can the game always truly claim to be running at 60 FPS?
Now, is this how you want to play a 60 FPS game with 30 FPS animation? Come on, what are we doing here? It's ridiculous, and it's these type of people that support the actions and the moves that Microsoft Xbox is doing specifically. I want Xbox to improve. In order for Xbox to improve, you have to admit the mistakes that they're making. They're making a lot of mistakes. The core Xbox fan is not happy with Microsoft right now. I should say Xbox. And the people out there that are saying otherwise and saying Microsoft is doing this and doing that, it's great moves and it's the future and this and that, that's all a bunch of cope. And I don't think they really care about Xbox. Because if you've been a day one Xbox supporter, you don't like all of the moves that they're making. Maybe you like some of their moves. Sure, granted, we can have a difference in opinion. But when you don't criticize Xbox for anything, then I gotta look at you side-eyed. I can't trust what's coming out of your mouth because nobody and no company is perfect. And when something is so glaringly obvious, when it's right in front of your face, when you have developers saying this, the developers make the games, we don't make the games. I'm gonna take their word over anybody's word because they're actually working on the system. They're actually releasing these games. And then when these developers come out and say they're having issues, You accuse them of being paid off by Sony. And then the developers respond by saying, no, actually, Sony actually helped us to get their game running nicely on the PlayStation 5. We've been reaching out to Xbox and they haven't responded to us in 2 months. So we have to go out on X and post it. Hopefully, Xbox will see this and get this certification process rolling, because we actually want the Xbox fans to have this game. But Xbox themselves, they can't get out of their way. I don't understand what's going on over there, but you need to get it in check. You need to get everything balanced, get everything in order over there. It's looking really messy. And as a true Xbox fan, I don't care what any of you guys want to say out there, this is not a good look. And the brand, it needs to improve, and things are not the way they should be right now. The Series S is a problem. I feel it's a mistake. At this point in time, the only thing I think they can do is turn that into a streaming box where it can stream with the capabilities of the Series X. It'll play some games natively that it can handle. If it can't handle it natively, it'll play it in the Series X form via the cloud. That way, it wouldn't hold back the Series X. Or perhaps just allow games to come out on the Series X and then, afterwards on the Series S, like a staggered release. But I don't think they're going to want to do that, because the Series S is what most Xbox owners this generation own. They outnumber the Series X owners. So you have to take care of your base. So I don't know what to say other than that the Series S is a mistake. I really, truly believe it was a mistake. They should have released an all-digital Series X, like what they're doing right now, instead of the Series S, like what PlayStation 5 did with the all-digital PlayStation 5 console. They should have done that from the beginning. Cut the price down, I don't know, less memory, you can upgrade the memory later down the line in it. I don't know what they could have done. But the Series S was not the right approach. Yeah, they sold a lot of them because it was a great price point. But now we're seeing it's becoming an issue because developers are having issues bringing their games on it. So it was a mistake. And as you see it now in real time, that console is a potato. It's like RX 5500 graphics. It's not good. It's not good for a modern day system. We're seeing some games being challenged on the Series X and the PlayStation 5, much less the Series S. We're going to have the PlayStation 5 Pro coming out. I don't think developers are going to skip the PlayStation 5 Pro for the Series S or the X. They're going to release it on the PlayStation 5 Pro. If Microsoft still has the same policies in place where the Series S and Series X have to be certified at the same time, and they're trying to get that game to run on the Series S, they might say, you know what, we're just going to skip the S and the X, and we're just going to put it on the PlayStation 5 Pro. That could be a situation that Xbox deals with in the future. Perhaps that's an extreme case, but the bottom line is this is not good. And I want to know what you guys think about this. Am I tweaking out here? Am I speaking the truth? Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with me. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think that the Series S is holding back game development? From this developer releasing this game on the PC first instead of consoles, is the PlayStation 5 also suffering from the Series S because they want to bring it at the same time on consoles? It's a problem, and we have to address it. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I usually say, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.